People don't realize this, but homework is useless. It's time consuming, it isn't beneficial to our learning, and it's often stressful. In fact, more than 50% of kids in the US, including me, think we have way too much. Sure, our teachers and parents make us think that homework comes first, but more than anything, it saps up all our time for all of our other activities. Usually people believe, as I used to in the past, that homework heightens our understanding of an earlier taught subject, but I disagree now for many reasons, including one fact. When I have to do math homework the day before a test, even then, some of the content is all Greek to me. I think the real focus should not be on how much homework we're assigned, but on making sure we understand everything taught to us. We don't need homework because it's time-consuming. Most kids have some sort of extracurricular or after-school event, such as a sport or tutoring. So homework has to be finished quickly and thus often incorrectly. These kids get a bad grade on this, but they don't deserve that at all. It's not their fault. Also, homework now involves more parental help than it used to, often causing the parents stress. If homework continues to go on, I think this policy should be put in motion. The student's grade times 5 is the number of student minutes of homework a student should have. Preschoolers and kindergartners shouldn't get any. So first graders will get about 5 minutes, second graders will get 10, and so on. In September 2008, homework drove 12-year-old Sarah crazy. The issue at her school was balance. She had trouble at night because of boatloads of homework, depriving her of sleep. She was afraid she'd get scolded for not doing her work. Soon enough, and thankfully, a group of parents at the school said, "Enough!" The parents spoke that the students have too much homework and insisted for the school to change their policies and lower the amount students have at night. Professors said that signs of overabundance of homework are that the student is giving up daily activities as more tired than usual. I agree completely, mostly because I've experienced these behaviors. Studies show that time spent on homework has risen 50% since 1981. I find this really disturbing because kids got so little homework in the 1980s from what I've read, and compare that to now. Yikes. In fact, Sudbury Valley School has gone without homework for 35 years. I think that other schools should continue this trend until it goes worldwide or at least countrywide throughout the U.S. We don't need homework because it's often stressful. A few months ago, I got off the bus crying, ugh. Once in the house, I took off my boots and hung my coat on the coat rack, grabbed my textbook and binder. After arriving in my bedroom, I dumped my textbook and my new notebook on my desk. I muttered to myself, "This is going to be a long night. Stupid grading policy." My math teacher was going to look through our notebooks tomorrow and grade our shown work. I saw no purpose in this, but I snatched up a pencil and got to work redoing a whole unit of math because I didn't show my work. I didn't even put on my headphones and play music as usual. That would be way too distracting, and this time I made sure my computer wasn't even on. After about 5 hours, it was approximately 9:45 and I slumped on my bed, exhausted yet relieved. I dozed off to sleep, muttering, "Never again." The next day I got a perfect grade, but this experience also showed me just how much homework students get. The stress it causes us, the sleep deprivation, the extreme lack of spare time, the monotony and repetitiveness, the lack of actual benefit. These are some of the negative benefits of homework. Compare that to the few positive benefits, encouraging independence and possibly building character, and there isn't much of a contest. Homework just isn't worth the time and effort. If we have too little homework, our learning won't be affected at all. Too much won't improve our learning any more than it would if we got an average amount. Today, approximately 43% of parents have to help or worse, do their children's homework for them. I think this is completely unneeded, as a sign that parents should talk to teachers about assigning homework. At the school I attend, this usually isn't needed so I can finish my homework solo. It's still often too much, though. We don't need homework because it isn't beneficial to our learning. Alfie Kohn writes in Rethinking Homework, homework assigned to younger kids, such as kindergartners, doesn't even affect their learning. This article also notes that homework lowers kids' interest in learning. Teachers should only assign what they design. If we have tons of homework, our teachers should at least put an equal amount of effort into designing it. No more pre-written textbooks. I remember from a while ago in Spanish class, near lunchtime as class was ending, a student asked, "What's our homework?" To this, our teacher held up a small whiteboard and wrote the word nada, meaning no. Nearly everyone in the class leaped out of their chairs and cheered. Spanish homework is completely pointless because we learn the language in class. Most people don't know this or even outright disagree, but the more time spent on homework, the less effect it has. In fact, homework is shown to have mostly negative effects, as said earlier. A few positive effects are few and small. We don't need homework because it's time-consuming, it isn't beneficial to our learning, and it's often stressful. If you're a teacher, principal reading this, I very highly suggest you change your policies on homework. If we don't have homework, kids, teachers, and parents alike would be a lot happier.